The critical part of the season is here, and it's the same old story for FC Bayern München. You guys, the first big injury, and hopefully the last big injury in the critical stage of the season has occurred, and it's sad, and it's highly unfortunate, but Serge Gnabry will be out for the rest of the season and cannot play anymore for FC Bayern München as we go on our journey to the treble. Very unfortunate news coming out of Zabnerstrasse today. Gnabry, who really stepped up this season in the absence of Musiala because of Musiala recovering from his big injury, finds himself now just days after we destroy and dump those frauds Real Madrid out of the Champions League. He has to sit on the sidelines for the rest of the season and, depending on how his recovery goes, could miss the World Cup. It looks likely that Gnabry will miss the World Cup for Germany, which is another huge blow for him. Sad news coming out, but does this mean that Jamal Musiala must step up? Does Leonard Carl, does Lenny G now come back after he gets healed up from his injury and get more and more minutes like he was getting previously in the season? We're going to talk about it, but let's break down the news, you guys. Serge Gnabry out for the rest of the season. Reported this morning by Ami Sanmia, Serge Gnabry has sustained a torn adductor in his right thigh and will be sidelined for an extended period. Early reports indicate that he could be out for the rest of the season and is a doubt for the World Cup. Then we get more news, reported by Bild this time. Bayern expects Serge to be out for 2 to 3 months. That ends his Bayern season and jeopardizes his World Cup chances. Depending on the exact extent of the damage and the progress of the rehab, the length of his absence could vary slightly. And it was in the final training session today ahead of the Stuttgart game tomorrow. And then according to Sky Germany, he will miss the World Cup. They're expecting him to be out 3 to 4 months. It's really unfortunate. This is unfortunate news. Now, I know Gnabry has been a controversial figure at the club the last couple of years. He has been highly frustrating. But you cannot deny that this season, although he's had on and off patches, in general this season, he has performed. He has performed. In the absence of Musiala, I don't think a lot of fans, including myself, I don't think a lot of fans expected him to perform at the levels he did this season. So it's really an unfortunate news coming out of the Bayern camp today. And yeah, he's gonna probably miss out on the World Cup. And the unfortunate thing is that I have a feeling this is probably related to the little injury he had last week in the lead up to the second leg against Real Madrid. Remember, he didn't play last weekend against St. Pauli because he had the little injury that kept him out, and he was still doing running exercises the weekend before the Real Madrid game. So, and it's, I think, in the same thigh that was bandaged up that he was pictured in training with. So it's unfortunate. Again, Serge Gnabry is out, and yeah, it's just unfortunate. There's just nothing else to say. You know, we couldn't take the load off of him because Musiala obviously is not ready to come back and start games and play 90 minutes. Lenny G got injured a week or two ago. He wasn't able to come in for Gnabry, who probably needed more rest these last couple of weeks, and now he has this injury and it's torn. And my intuition tells me, it's the middle of April. We're looking at 2 months exactly until the World Cup. I would be very highly surprised that he gets called up by Julian Nagelsmann for the World Cup. And it's unfortunate, man, because this would be he's gonna he played in the 2022 World Cup. This was gonna be his last World Cup, most likely than not. And now he's not gonna play at the World Cup, so he will only have World Cup 2022 on his resume. And it's also unfortunate for the national team because this is a player that was going to be helpful for us. He, in the last couple of games for Germany, at the tail end of the qualification stage for the World Cup, he was putting up performances. And he was proving that he deserved to be back in the national team setup, unlike a certain fraud like Leroy Sané. So he's going to be out. This increases the chance of a guy like Leroy Sané to be in the World Cup squad because it's one less person competing for those last few spots in the team. So I feel bad for Gnabry. Um, this is kind of the same thing as last year and previous seasons where he had this bad injury record, and it sometimes came down to we couldn't afford to not play him. So I have to give respect for Gnabry for always playing through injury whenever we need him. And this time he has to miss out on a World Cup, which is a huge blow for just his career. He's probably going to regret this. It's going to be his big regret. And yeah, I feel bad for the guy. I don't know if he's getting an operation on the surgery or not. We haven't gotten any more news. We'll probably get more news tomorrow. Um, in the lead up after the Stuttgart game, before the Stuttgart game, when they talked to the coaches, when they talked to the board, but just really shit, just really shit news. This is a player that definitely could have helped us against PSG. Could help us in a Champions League final, in the Pokal. We have a Pokal semifinal against Leverkusen in a couple of days. This is a key player. He's been a key player all season. I feel bad. I feel bad. But what does this mean? What does this mean? This is a guy who has been basically our starting number 10 all season. This means, bro, Jamal Musiala, it's time. I'm not saying all of a sudden to start Musiala every game, 90 minutes after 90 minutes after 90 minutes. Absolutely not. And I'm sure the doctors are reiterating that. The medical team is reiterating that to Company and his coaching staff that although Gnabry's out injured and we need a guy to play number 10, Musiala is not ready to just go in there and play 90 minutes after 90 minutes after 90 minutes. That's just the truth. Now, we play Stuttgart tomorrow. I don't think he's going to start. I think he'll come off the bench. But in a game against Leverkusen, semifinal of the Pokal, I think Musiala starts. And you probably will see Musiala have to step up and start in that Leverkusen game, in the 2 PSG games, which I think he's ready for. I think if he just gets these more minutes in the Bundesliga, he will get to that sharpness where he won't be a liability in those games, where he can make an impact in those games and give us that extra quality through the middle of the park that we've missed all season long with his injury. But I won't be expecting Musiala to be back to Musiala before his injury last year, where he was leading the attack, scoring goals, playing so mature. I'm not expecting that, but I'm still expecting high-level performance from Musiala. I'm expecting him to step up, but I'm expecting the club to also approach this in a responsible manner. I think it's okay for him to start the Leverkusen game, the PSG games, but he probably can't play 90 minutes in those games. He could probably play 60, 70 minutes in those games at a high level where he's not a detriment to the team. Leonard Carl, when he's back from his injury, Pink Panther himself, did you guys see his fit at the Real Madrid game? Pink Panther himself, Leonard Carl, Lenny G. It's time to step up as well, bro. I know you're 17, 18 years old, but he's 18 now. It's time to step up. You're gonna play a key role coming off the bench in these PSG games. Absolutely. Rafael Guerrero, another guy who can play the 10. Although Vicky Guerrero is frustrating at times, and a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, he pissed me off big time. That's a guy who could play the number 10. That's a guy who also has to step up. It's the end of his Bayern career. He needs to end this on a last big hoorah and perform, man. So we have 3 guys. Guerrero, who's leaving the club in July. Thumbs up because of the freaking Apple animation does it. You have Musiala and Leonard Carl coming back from injury. Young players who have to step up. It's time. It's time. And I think this is perfect. It's not perfect in terms of managing Musiala's minutes, but I think this would be perfect preparation for Jamal as he gets ready for that World Cup. Playing in a game against PSG 2 legs. If we make the Champions League final, playing in a Champions League final, playing these big boy games, playing in a DFB Pokal semi-final, a DFB Pokal final, playing in such intense games. Personally, for Jamal Musiala, I'm sure he is welcoming of this. He's not scared. He wants these opportunities, and he's put in a position where he will have to play in those games. I'm sure he's excited for it, and it's going to be a great opportunity for him to get the highest level match experience he can before he goes off to the WC. And the football gods willing, he doesn't get any more injuries. Nobody else in the Bayern squad gets any more injuries. Luis Diaz, Olise, Harry Kane, Yosor Kimmich, Pavlovic, no one else get injured. And we really do have a shot here at the treble. Like I've been telling you guys, we had a shot at the treble since the beginning of the season. I told you guys before a ball was kicked that we would be in that Champions League final. I told you guys this. All of my predictions, not all of my predictions, but my main predictions of us potentially having a treble season, for us to trust in company, for us to make it to the Champions League final, it's all coming to fruition. Gnabry out for the season. Rest in peace, bro. Really unfortunate. I hope he could somehow have a miraculous recovery, and his recovery goes amazingly, and he makes the World Cup squad. I would have, I would definitely take a fresh off of injury Serge Gnabry based off this season's performance than Leroy Sané. That's what I'll say when it comes to the World Cup selection. So you're Leon Nagelsmann. I hope you're thinking the same way I'm thinking. Musiala, time to step up. Serge Gnabry, I'm praying for you, bro. I hope it goes well. I hope you can make the World Cup. I hope a miracle occurs. But I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. There probably won't be a miracle. You guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like the video. Subscribe if you're new. Bayern content chugging out. Big games coming up. We got to stay hopeful. The players got to stay healthy. Also, company. Lead these men and boys to success. Lead them to the treble holy grail. It's been your boy Hokage Puya. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as always. I'll see you guys tomorrow for that VfB Stuttgart post-match reaction on 10. Until then, peace.